Hello and welcome back to Music Nuggets. Today's nugget is all about the wonky guitar sounds of Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age. So I've got the idea from this one from a Vice documentary series called Guitar Moves, where one of their reporters goes about and jams with different guitarists and just asks them about, like, where do you get your sound from? And something that really struck me about the Josh Homme thing was that his sound comes from a really simple place. Basically what he does to get a lot of the sounds of his solos is to take a minor pentatonic scale. In this case he was using the example of D minor pentatonic scale. So that's the pentatonic scale that we all know as guitarists, you know, so we're going... And what he does is he displaces kind of every second line. So on the 5th string, the 6th string stays the same, so you've got root and minor third. But on the 5th string, where it would normally be 4th and 5th, he changes that to the major third and a sharp 4, so he's sliding both notes down a semitone. So it's more like that. And at this stage, not sounding too much like Queens of the Stone Age, but bear with it. So the next line stays the same. The next line is just fret 10 and fret 12 on the D string. So that is just flat 7 and root. And if you put that together, you can sort of hear that Queens of the Stone Age thing coming out. Then, on the next part, on the G string, instead of minor third and 4th, he changes that to major third and sharp 4th. So this time he's sliding that line of the scale up a semitone. And it's actually the same notes as the one that he shifted down. And it's what's in between that makes it sound interesting. So we've got... Then, normally on the B string of that pentatonic scale, you would go 5th and flat 7. Which kind of sounds Queens of the Stone Age as it is, but what he does is he prefers to lean into the 6th of that scale, as if you're taking the 6th from a major pentatonic scale. So he goes, instead of 10 and 13, he goes 10 and 12. So it's going... And now it's really starting to get that Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme solo kind of sound. He doesn't really jam with the last part of the scale, with the highest string. But what he does throughout is he hints at minor thirds in other places. So if I was going to use that string, I would play both minor thirds and major thirds. You know, so like... And he does it elsewhere. He slides down to... That's the same minor third as you've got on that line of the pentatonic scale. Okay, so all over it's starting to sound like this. And he says to the guy, give me a D chord, and he vamps over the top of that. And it's got that sort of mad kind of polka, waltzy, Queens of the Stone Agey thing. So... and so on, so you can hear that effect. And what it got me thinking was, how can you fill in the gaps with that? Because it's basically different in 2 octaves. In the first octave it's root minor third, third. I suppose you would see this as a sharp 2nd, the minor third. Sharp 4, flat 7, and then in the other octave it's going root, major third, sharp 4, 5th, and it's leaning into that 6th that I honed in on. So the first thing that got me thinking is it's really close to Lydian Dominant, if you're seeing it as a major thing. And if you're going to use that sound, the good thing is if you've practiced your scales, you'll know melodic minor, you'll know that Lydian Dominant is a mode of melodic minor, and it means that you can spread this sound out all over the fretboard, no matter where you are in your solo or whatever. So Lydian Dominant basically has these intervals: root, second, third, sharp 4, fifth, sixth, flat 7, and root again. It's the fourth mode of A melodic minor. So against that chord you could play A melodic minor and get the same sort of sound. So this is Lydian Dominant with that second in there. Of course, you could actually just play A melodic minor over it and get different phrasing but with the same notes and the same sound. Which is really cool. Suddenly it gives you lots of other places to go with that. But something that bugged me about it was that the second doesn't sound right. It sounds too sweet. And in actual fact, that minor third, or sharp second, however you want to see it, that's kind of giving it a lot of the raunchiness, a lot of the edginess. And the ninth kind of balances it too much. So I thought, well, what are we getting if we just swap that out? We're getting all the intervals in this scale. And until recently, a scale that I thought was called Napolitan Major, because someone had told me that a while back, and I just started using the name. And it's a really easy thing to do, is get your synonyms completely wrong in music theory. But I did a bit more digging on this because I knew that I wanted to do a lesson about it, and it turns out it's actually Hungarian major. So it is the same as Lydian Dominant, except instead of a second, it's got a sharp second. You could consider it a minor third in this case, against the chord. And this basically gives you all the right sounds and fills in all the gaps, and it's all the notes in these two octaves just filled in. And again, you could make scales and modes out of it the same way that you would with the melodic minor stuff. So when you play this sounds more like. So that's kind of more like it to my ears, basically. And it kind of rolls off the fingers nicely as well. You got little sort of the same shape, but just a little semitone up on two different strings. And you can just build little licks out of it. And that sounds great over that chord. The same sound, basically. So yeah, that is the one, as far as I'm concerned. Hits all the right notes, and then you can make modes out of it. So hopefully that helps you understand what he was doing in that guitar moves video, and also expand on it. That's all I want to do for today. Thanks very much for watching.